Hi, this is Dick Taylor, and you're watching Stormbringing, the Austrian heavy zine.
You got a new record out. It's called "The Sweet Pretty Things Are in Bed Now," of course.
Yes.
Who came up with this title? And it sounds like a lullaby to me. So why this title?
I'll tell you who came up with the title, Bob Dylan.
Really?
It's actually a quote from a Bob Dylan song from Tombstone Blues back in 1966, I think. Or 67? 66, I think.
I'm not that familiar with Bob Dylan. So.
Yeah, well, there you go. But what it was, Bob Dylan used to be we used to see Bob Dylan when he came to London, and particularly our rhythm guitarist was very, very friendly with him, and we're sure it's a reference to us. And Phil, the singer, did the artwork for the album, and for some reason he wrote "The Sweet Pretty Things Are in Bed Now," of course, up the side of it, and before it was meant to be the artwork for the album. And so we thought, well, why not use this as the title for the album as well? So there you go. It wasn't helped by the fact that in a way by the fact that the guy who was doing the publicity for the album actually got the title the wrong way round when he was talking to some people in America. So I did the Little Steven's Underground Garage show, and the guy who was interviewing me kept going, well, this album is called Now the Sweet Pretty Things Are in Bed, of course. And I kept going, no, it's not, it's the sweet. And he kept saying it wrong, and in the end we discovered he'd actually been given the wrong title. But anyway, it is The Sweet Pretty Things Are in Bed Now, of course.
It sounds so terminal. It sounds like it would be maybe the last album, because you are in bed now, of course.
No, we really don't intend it to be our last album. In fact, the guy from the record company, from Repertoire Records, wants another one, of course. Maybe it's now, next one maybe, they've woken up now.
Yeah, they're out of bed now again.
They're out of bed. Yeah, I don't know.
But you also brought out a box, a Jubilee box, which is called, I have to look it here, it's called Bouquets from a Cloudy Sky.
Oh,
it contains all 15 CD set and DVDs and the booklet.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
A vinyl.
A vinyl as well.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm wondering about is there are also some letters you wrote for the court with the
yes,
thing,
the
like that.
legal the legal papers for when.
Why did you include that?
Well, I think it was our manager's idea, because he spent a lot of time trying to get the rights to all our songs back to us, basically, which he managed to achieve, and it's part of the process of doing that. And we were just thinking there were people who may find that of interest. Maybe they do. I don't know.
The lawyers.
Among
the fans.
The lawyers. We have actually a few. There's a Swiss guy who's a doctor of law, and he was. I haven't seen him lately, but he came to a lot of gigs. We have some fans who come from a long way away. A Russian guy who comes over and sees us, and I think the furthest away that someone came to see the band was actually from Australia. And this woman, one day we were doing a gig, and someone said, I think you better meet this woman who is in the audience, because she has been to now 8 gigs and she never spoke to us. And then in the end we said, well, and she was coming from Australia to see us time after time, actually flying from Australia just to see us.
They never saw you.
And they never talked to us. They just came and watched the show, and she would just leave the building afterwards. But when, and then this time we were introduced to her and actually talked to her, so which was nice. And another woman from Japan who comes to see us. quite
Because
regularly.
when I came in, you were just right there and just said hello.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
So we're not too unfriendly. No.
You're not hiding away backstage.
No, definitely not. No, what we like to do is after the show, is come and sign, and go to the merchandise store and talk to people and sign whatever they've bought or whatever they bring along. Because it's good to we're actually in a good position to meet people because, unlike someone like the Stones where after the gig they have the fireworks and before the fireworks actually disguise the fact that they're leaving the venue. So they never really have any contact with the people who come to see them. But I think that would not be nice. It's good to know the people who, to meet the people.
It's good to be still in a position to go to the people.
Yes,
you have,
exactly.
Maybe you have a face which is known by several people, but not by everybody.
Yeah,
like Mick Jagger.
Yeah. I don't think I'd like to be in that position, to be honest. But,
are there many young people as well coming to you after the shows for autograph or something?
It depends where we play. If we play in Italy, for instance, or Spain, there are an enormous number of our audience are younger. When we play Germany, not so many young people. In England, 50-50 maybe. And it also depends on where the gig is. Because sometimes we play places which are, the sort of mod crowd. There's plenty of young people who dress moddy style, and you see guys and women and you think, I could have met them in the 60s, and they're absolutely perfect. Yeah. Hey, didn't I go out with you? Oh no, you'd now be 40 years older or 50 years older, yeah.
But it's funny, you have particularly the same looking crowd.
Yeah, that's nice. Sometimes we do gigs like that. Other times, you get the older people. It varies a lot from place to place.
People dressing up like.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, most of it. We know quite a lot of our fans who come to shows. We'll have seen several times, which is great. Yeah.
But talking about the young people, you got two young guys in the band. From a band called Dull Knife.
Yes.
How did you stumble about them? Because you haven't been with them on the last record, 2007.
No.
You met them in between.
Was that what? Oh, on the last? No, that was almost when we met them. Funny enough.
But they aren't on the record.
But they've been with us now since. I think 6 or 7 years, I think. They started when they were 16. How we met them was there was another band who were recording at the same time as us, and they were recording. Our manager is also a record producer, and he was producing a band called the Malchicks. And initially, George, the bass player, was in the Malchicks, and then they needed a drummer. And Jack, who is our present drummer, actually auditioned for the Malchicks. Then the Malchicks decided, oh look, we'll just be a duo of George and Scarlett, and we took Jack because he was such an amazing drummer. And then we needed a bass player, so we thought, hang on, why not George as well? And
they knew each other.
They knew one another. We knew them. And we knew that they were both, people who we really liked, and when we met them, we thought, well, we can get on with these guys. And we knew both of them were very, very good musicians. And I would not change them for anything, because they have added more energy to the band. Because, I can play guitar with as much energy or whatever as any time, and Phil, he's still sings much the same, but I think it's harder for a drummer, for instance, to keep that level of energy up when they get older. So using these two young guys is brilliant, because people always talk about bass players and drummers as being the engine room of the band,
It's like that.
Yeah, and we have a very powerful engine room, which is great.
But there's also a very huge gap between the generations, because they could be your grandsons.
Yeah, they could.
You know? And,
careful, sons, please.
Sons, okay, I'm sorry.
No, grandsons. They could be my grandson. But the funny thing is that they're people.
But do they bring in, of course, they do bring in different influences.
Influences, and I mean, on one of the things about this last album, the latest album we've done, is we'd actually done a live album using George and Jack, but we hadn't done a studio album using them. And what we really wanted to do was a studio album which included their input. So apart from the fact they were playing on it, they actually contributed to the writing, particularly George contributed to the writing, and we all wrote stuff on the album. So rather than being just two songwriters or one songwriter or whatever, everybody was involved in the writing at various stages. And it's funny, it's only when people mention the age difference that we really sort of think about it, because I don't know.
But that's the point in it, I think.
Yes.
That's why your music sounds like it sounds today.
Yeah, I hope it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a good mixture. I hope.
But on the other hand, you had a very fast revolving door concerning the personnel over the years, coming and going. Well, I mean, you two, Phil and you are the only ones still left from the original lineup.
From the original lineup,
so
yes.
Else is gone or died or something.
Yeah, only
so
I think.
Is this a lineup?
This is a lineup which is well, to be honest, now this lineup with Frank, the other, the other guitarist, and this lineup has been going for 7 years, which is far longer than the original lineup.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and which, unless something radical happens, I would not change this lineup for anything. It's that I actually think, certainly as far as I'm concerned, this is the best version of the Pretty Things there has been for my money.
To say it after 50 years, 50 years in business.
Yeah. Well.
Because it would have been the next question, which was the best period of the band for you?
For me,
with
do you know something? For me, now.
Really?
Yeah, now. I'm not very good at looking back. No, I really, obviously, when we started, it was fantastic. It was great fun, but now, kind of, it's so gratifying that we are still going and that we are getting such good responses from audiences and people saying, "Oh, that's the best band I've seen," stuff like that. And you just think, wow, this is fantastic that we should still be going now and we're getting this reaction. I want to keep going as long as we can,
I hope we will.
I hope we well, I certainly hope we do.
I mean, you have seen every crucial period of the popular music.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I actually had a small holiday from the band for about 8 years. In the 70s, but I was quite not being. I don't know. I thought that rock kind of got up its own arse a bit during that period, to be honest. And people seem more interested. I'm not saying the Pretty Things, but the general thing was, hey, let's start a band, let's get a huge advance from a record company. And somehow it didn't seem in contact with the audience or anything properly. It seemed to be far more like a giant business for a while, and all this sort of stadium-y type things. It just, I don't know, it just didn't seem something that I particularly wanted to be involved with, because I think this is music for
few generations.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, unfortunately, I'd better stop because I've got to go and change because we're playing really early.
Yeah. I don't want to steal your time. It was so nice to have you here.
Any more questions?
Yeah. There would be a lot of questions, but we we're so happy to have you here.
Oh, well,
And,
thank
we
you.
have you on
Thank
Storm
you.
Radio TV. And yeah, we let you go change now because
Okay.
we want to see a good gig afterwards.
Right.
And
Well, I hope you do.
Yeah, yeah. Many thanks.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Nice to
Yeah.
talk with you. Hi, this is Dick Taylor, and you're watching Stormbringer, the Australian heavy zine.
No, it's Austrian.
Fuck me!
But it's funny, you see.
Oh, don't, please,
We
That's the most
had so
stupid.
many bands
That's the
singing
most
Australian.
the most stupid thing I've ever said in my life. When people say, "Yeah, thank you."